That was just a beautiful. We celebrated Lewis on pole, and he's not sick.
He won the championship.
We were celebrating like he won the championship. Did you see that whole funny tweet? Like, pole in Swahili iko translated to ati pole ati kwani ni mgonjwa. The mics are on and off we go. Hi guys, my name is Winnie.
My name is Ray.
And welcome to the Will Spin Podcast, the home of Formula One content and everything motorsport. And I hope you had a good weekend. We almost did. I almost did have a good weekend. We were out in the good old Budapest, a track that, since its inception, we've run there. So I think this weekend was their 38th edition. And since they built Budapest, we've gone to Budapest all the time. We're always going there. We've never missed.
The contract to
2032. Yeah, 2032. I think it's like we could call it like in terms of maybe the contracts, like our long-term track, long-term fixture on the F1 calendar, just like Monza.
But I like the track. I like Budapest.
I don't mind it. Like they call it a Monaco without the barriers. Is it Monaco with barriers or without the barriers? It's very quite similar to like the spec of car, or maybe in terms the needs of the downforce needs on the car is quite similar to what is run in Monaco. Yeah, and then also there's not so much. It's a good track. There's not so much. It's just corners. Like it's driver precision. You just have to be present. Once you're done with this corner, another one comes at you very fast. Yeah. I think the longest straight is a pit straight, and that's not like. Yeah, it's a brilliant track for drivers who I think it's really hard to win around this track. It is. I mean, honestly, like even Sebastian, the number of Sebastian has not won at Hungary. Like he's a good driver.
Yeah.
Like statistically, like I hear they describe it like it looks like a good track. Lewis loves driving here.
Yeah.
And it's a track he's excelled at.
Multiple times.
He's won there 8 times. That's sick.
And has 11 podiums.
At Hungary. Yeah, that's crazy. So we were out there in Budapest, the city, vibrant, the people, beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting weekend. We had Sky F1 trying out that whole hosting with the youngsters.
With the youngsters. I liked it.
Those kids are amazing.
I listen to them every single day. They have so much energy. They are so excited.
And they know what they're saying. In fact, you could just learn a few things from them. You can't program kids. Kids will say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
The fact that drivers are, very open and receptive to
the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I feel like it's a good start. I mean, even us, we wish we could have someone here.
Yeah.
A young fan come and debrief the race with us. That would be fun. Cool.
Who do you want to invite?
I don't have in mind. If you feel, I don't know, we should get someone. Maybe it's just like
I really like the kids. We saw Zach got to have a seat fit in Lewis's car. Lucky him.
Right? And was it Zoe? Was it Zoe? Did we get the names of the other kids?
No, unfortunately.
God, they're such great interviewers, and they know Will. They really do know F1, and it's nice, to actually just see that the next generation is very prepped.
After the other, commentators,
they have something else.
Yeah,
they have other people, a generation who are being mentored and just excellent.
They like Formula One as well, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah, we saw Checo Perez go off. I don't know what he was going to do.
Oh yeah, that was practice. FP1. I mean, he had I think he had just a usual start to the weekend. Honestly, I feel like he needed his mojo this weekend. With the return of Daniel Ricciardo on the regular F1 grid. I feel like, and then it's FP1. It's the first session of the weekend, and then Sergio is like, hold my beer. Traditions must be followed. And then he went off, and it was just weird. I mean, I know he was frustrated with himself.
I had Christian Horner after Sergio went, beached his car. I don't know if it's beached his
Beaching,
car,
yeah. No, he in fact he mowed.
He
I
was
think he
so
touched
tired.
grass.
Yeah.
He touched the grass, and then now it was
expensive
downhill
lawn
after that.
mowers.
Oh yeah, expensive lawn mowers.
I don't think there's a lot that happened in practice anyway. Not really.
Not so much because like on Friday it rained.
Yeah, it rained.
So it was not, and then there wasn't so much running. There wasn't, by the way, going into Saturday, there wasn't so much data from Friday. I think FP3 on Saturday, they did try to get at least now they had a small understanding of what to expect from the track.
Yeah, and for qualifying as well.
Oh yeah. And then, so on Saturday we had Pirelli now trying out
Yeah, I like this
the
new
ATA.
format.
You're calling it the alternative tire allocation. Yeah.
I like it.
Me too. I think it was like going into the unknown. So we had first of all, the number of sets of tires allocated to the drivers reduced from 13 to 11. That's good. I mean, so that means I saw an interesting statistic.
They're saving like 3,800.
3,000. No, so if the whole system had been used in 2023, would have saved around 3,680 tires, and that's like a fair good amount of carbon. So they might not be saving the world, but I feel like that's a step in the right direction.
Trying.
Yeah.
I feel like qualifying was the most important, most exciting part of this weekend.
Oh my God, I had so much. It's like I was in a race. It was so, it's like the car is being, you're using a different set of compound of tires.
Yeah.
That means you have to tweak the car to suit the next tire. So in Q1, there's the hards. They need, mediums, then softs. That means you have to adapt really quickly with the car. And there's not so much time because these sessions are like 15 minutes, 12 minutes.
Yeah, and so in we saw George Russell getting out very early. Okay, not very early, but in the stages of qualifying.
He went off very early. So I think, Budapest
he
is
was
like...
saving his tires.
He wanted to have a brilliant race. I think, with the rain and the rubber, they delayed being washed off.
Yeah.
But then so track evolution was a big thing around Hungary this weekend. So that means the later you go, the better your lap time. So I think Mercedes gambled. Like they gambled that's in Q1, with Russell and Lewis, in fact. Yeah. So... I think Russell was unfortunate. He stumbled on a lot of traffic. It was traffic paradise, in Yuki's words. It was traffic paradise. So he was not able to set a good time.
A good time.
Yeah, but Lewis was like, I was like, I didn't know if they're gonna make it because that whole waiting till you send someone. Scraps of just missing out. But then he did a good time. He went P7, I think, in Q1, and then he made it through.
Yeah,
but
we saw the Alfa Romeo.
Oh yes,
they were rapid, especially on the hards.
I think that's their tire.
Yeah, they should be allowed to race on the hards.
So is it like they would win even during the race? Bottas had like a fastest lap on the hards.
True.
And Bottas at some time. Yeah. So no, I'm saying in the race. I think in quali. Q1, I think Joe posted the quickest time in FP1. Oh, in Q1, sorry. Yeah, so they took the tire really. I really was hopeful they were gonna have like a good race because again the hard tire was a good race tire as well. Yeah. But unfortunately, I don't know, it just went so badly for them.
Yeah, and then Danny Ricciardo
qualified. He made it into Q2.
Yeah, he qualified 11th.
Yes. Did he? 11th?
Yeah, 11th.
So he had to qualify that
sorry, not 11.
15.
I'm confusing him with Sainz because Sainz was knocked out of.
Yeah, and very small thousands. Was it Leclerc or Alonso? It was Alonso.
The one who knocked him out.
Really?
Yeah.
But the gap was so tiny. 7,000. Oops. Yeah, oops. But yeah, that shows you the grid was really bunched up for that Saturday run. Like
Yeah, we saw in Q2 the only person who did not go for a second run was Lando Norris on the mediums.
he didn't go out
He
again.
didn't go out again after because he had already set the fastest time, so he didn't go out again. We saw Max Verstappen go out again.
Yeah, because
it was,
the track was ramping up and you have to protect your time. So I think I love the format. In fact, it's being tried out again in Monza. Please just let's do it, because I kind of feel like I even had more fun during quali than the race. Maybe I might be biased because I loved the
but
it is interesting. Okay, yeah. Before I even say my interesting fact, we got pole this weekend. Lewis Hamilton was the pole sitter this weekend.
Yeah.
But I think I was okay. So the interesting thing, there's like we love the fast growing Formula One community. And on Twitter, there were people who's like, this was their Lewis's first pole. Like the people started watching in 2021.
Yeah, they've never seen another Lewis pole.
They celebrate, and I was like, imagine we celebrated like it was off fast as well. It was so nice. Pole. It's been a minute.
It was he set the last his time last. So and he if you saw the lap, it was electrifying.
It was, but he did go it was the turn 13, I think 14. He also went off. Yeah. So this track is, as we were saying, is very demanding. Like it's driver precision. You have to position your car properly. You have to have your tires working properly. Like you have, I think with Lewis's pole lap, it was just a delicate dance of good tire management, knowing not to send it all out in the first sector, second sector, preserving it, knowing that the third final sector will take so much from your tire, so making sure you're leaving just enough of the tire to take you throughout the lap. And I believe that is what, it was a small gap, but it was like what pole boiled down to. A beautiful drive.
3,000th of a second.
And driving that car, but I mean, I know the car is not performing very nicely, but I mean, I think that was like excellent effort from him. Like on Saturday, he deserved it. He was so happy, elated.
The W14 is the distant cousin of the W13.
I think
might not look alike, but they have similar traits.
And they cause the same emotions: sadness, despair.
Because the car is very iffy. Today it's working in free practice, then it's not working in quali, then it's working
but it was good with the softs. Like in FP3, Lewis topped the timesheets in FP3 on the softs. And that's why I think I was actually very scared. I was worried that we were not taking the mediums very well. So I was worried about us making it out of Q2 by the way, but we did, which was like a nice thing.
Yeah, so he broke the record for most poles, which was previously
held
by Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, so he's handing himself over the trophy. So he is at 104 poles, and he broke another record, like most poles at a single circuit. Yeah. So he has a 9th pole around Hungary. Hungaroring, or the Hamilton ring. Yeah,
so that's such people were so excited, coming into the race because they, it's Hamilton versus Verstappen, and they don't have the best of, histories.
So they always take.
Very interesting to everybody wanted to see what was going to go on in the in the opening stages, and I mean, in my perspective, it was very underwhelming. Depends on who you support.
Yeah, exactly. The people who might have had 100% fan. Okay, before I forget, before we wrap up quali. Also, so I'll just also talk about strategy. Like this qualifying was being won in the pit lane as well. As much as the driver is driving, the tires have to be in the right temperature. You have to come out at the right time. So that means, for example, I think the reason why McLaren maybe why they didn't get pole was them. They were, they came out, they were just medium gambling. Like they were not coming too early or too late. So, I mean, playing it quite safe. So that means the track has not reached its peak, peak rubbered in, where you'll maximize your car around the track. Red Bull were coming out pretty early. I was with Perez, they were sending him like 2 minutes before even I was like,
the
huh?
lights are out.
Yeah, they're like,
but they have the comfort of they're
being fast.
and also their tires, their car takes on the tires really well.
But
so
again,
they don't really have that. You saw.
But exactly, if that is the point, then why not just send them out last? You have the car. It's like I was feeling with
Traffic.
Mercedes. I mean, yeah, it is traffic, but you have to like, how come like when they were releasing Lewis, for example, with that pull up, he really went at the last minute, and then I was like, this is good. I mean, they gambled wrongly for Russell. He was out, and then they didn't change strategy. It was still the same, like go out last. And sometimes I think they forget they don't have the W11 anymore. Like it's not the same car.
It's not the same
we
car.
had a very fast car, but then now here I was like, you see, now it was either Red Bull were going pretty early on in the session. Of course, maybe with the comfort knowing that they have their car.
And we often see Max going out when there's nobody on the track.
He wants the track to himself, and he doesn't need even anyone to tear through the whole heavy air. He tears through it himself, and he still sets good times.
Yeah.
But that was just a beautiful. We celebrated Lewis on pole, and he's not
like
sick.
He won the championship.
We were celebrating like he won the championship.
It's been 33
Did you see that whole funny tweet? Like, pole in Swahili iko translated to ati pole ati kwani ni mgonjwa. That was hilarious. Oh my god.
But sometimes we forget that non-Formula 1 fans don't really get the terminology. So they see pole, they won't read it as
pole. It's pole.
Yeah, pole.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Paul Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, so I think now the start was underwhelming. I mean, I don't know. Like Max has had, like, for the previous races, like he's not had very good starts. Yeah. But yesterday he had
Lewis Hamilton.
I
have something to prove.
I have to prove this. he went and had a good start. Piastri as well.
Yeah. Piastri moved to second. I mean,
the extra that was a good start for me.
I think he's the rookie that is doing
the best in the recent past.
Yeah, of all the rookies,
we've had in the recent past.
After Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, after Lewis Lewis Hamilton, but he did. I think he bested Alonso in that McLaren.
Oscar Piastri is doing.
He's doing
wonderful.
And I think there's some magic that goes. Lewis debut with Formula 1 was at McLaren.
Yeah,
that's why he's always there's something at McLaren.
Yeah, we need to investigate.
I think it's just a good culture. Ama, it's just that hard celebrating with Zach Brown.
I don't know.
Sorry. That's what it says. Like, I'm like, wow, okay. But there's a good. I can't imagine me some good.
I think McLaren just. I don't know. We need to invest. I think Zach Brown.
It's just.
It should take me around the McLaren garage.
Please. I feel like you've just sold yourself to everyone. Juicy wanted to drive for Red Bull. What has changed?
Daniel Ricciardo is back.
Oh yeah, he's back.
I mean, I cannot compete with Oshante or
Oshante. Yeah, Oshante.
Yeah, I cannot compete with that.
You can. I actually, it's funny. This weekend I was like in this F1 group and people are like hating
What?
Ricciardo. Apparently,
he's
all smiles.
He's a multiple race winner.
He has nothing to. He was at Red Bull, and I know people. He had a very bad stint at McLaren. To be honest, it's hard when you go to you change, and then I think the philosophy around the McLaren car was very different throughout what he was driving. And coming there and not like really, it's like that whole stint Sebastian had at Ferrari. Like it wasn't like.
I do get it. Moving from it's like taking maybe Lewis Hamilton out of the Mercedes. He's driven a Mercedes for 10 years and then you take him and put him in a Ferrari.
Okay, let's not use him. He would.
He will perform, but it takes some time to get
used to the car. And I feel like with Daniel Ricciardo, it's the same. This guy has won races. If you want to see the brilliance of Daniel Ricciardo, there's I think he's won at which is this race we were at. Like there's this one he really was at his best. We'll link it. We'll just tell you this guy is a multiple race winner. He's an excellent driver. Yes, a big smile doesn't take away from we love his big smile, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
as in,
one of the few people on the grid that have actually won races.
yeah, we have a very good chunk of your drivers who are not race winners,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can be like, now
Yes,
I was
but
like,
especially if you are supporting a certain driver. I will not mention names. You cannot be hating on Daniel.
you cannot be hating on Daniel Ricciardo and your driver doesn't even have a win here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy to
Get
see him
out of
back.
the way! You're not racing for anything. Okay, sorry.
I'm happy to see
I'm not
him
pointing
back,
fingers.
back on the grid,
Yeah, me too.
driving,
Yeah.
seeing
Okay,
his
it's
face
sad.
all
Like,
around.
okay, the situation or like the event surrounding his coming back
Yeah.
is sad. Like with Nick,
But didn't we know?
we saw this coming,
we
but
saw
it
this
was sad.
coming.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me so sad though.
Yeah,
Like I really had.
Just,
Yeah.
no, we don't want it like a toy.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, so during the race when Max took the lead very easily, which I did, I was almost at the verge of tears.
Yeah, we
When
watched
Max-
the race yesterday together. I think we were. I don't know. We had just some hope would just do well, but imagine deep down inside, I knew. I mean, this Red Bull, it has good race pace. We didn't have very good race pace, like average race pace.
Yeah.
So it took, and then we had like Lewis had very bad traction. Like the
Yeah,
tires.
yeah,
When
the
they're not getting
start.
like good temperature on those tires, and them, biting into the track properly so that you have traction coming out of the first straight, and then you're going to the first corner. It's hard to take a corner without traction. You'll just
Yeah.
lose out, and that's what happened.
So,
Yeah.
What significant thing did we see in the race? We saw George Russell making up very many places. Actually made
12 places, yeah, from P18 to P6, because and then he finished P7, but
He was promoted.
Leclerc had us
The
time
funny
penalty.
thing is, nowadays I don't even want to laugh at Ferrari because now it's just sad.
It's more than sad.
It's just sad.
I don't
You
know what's
cannot have
happening
you
there.
cannot have your drivers. You have two drivers constantly on the radio complaining,
And then you're telling
about
them
each
something,
other.
right?
Yeah,
Like it was so
it's
funny.
Like they're saying, I'm faster than science. I think you
During
should
their
reverse
first
the
stint,
car.
I think during their first stint, like Sainz was on the soft.
Yeah.
What's the essence of being on the soft, and then Leclerc was on
behind.
was on mediums,
Yeah.
right? And then why are you keeping him behind? See, the whole essence is to make up track position. And
Yeah.
honestly, he was in the arrest zone of Leclerc for so long.
And if I'm just being honest, yesterday, I'm not trying to sound like Lando Norris, but yesterday the Ferrari weren't really fighting for anything. So they should have tried to get maximum points from that race.
Which
And
they would have, yeah. I think it would, if like it was Leclerc, like it was Sainz in Leclerc's, they would have preserved that P6, right?
Yeah.
Like they would not, I mean, at least like, I don't understand. One driver comes out like says, oh, I'm faster, please like invert or whatever, like do something, or I don't know. And then it's just, it's like they're arguing on national TV. They don't know what they want. They don't know what is happening.
We'll check.
We will check.
We'll check.
It was just a weird thing, but and then they had like that 9.4 second pit stop.
That was such a slow. I don't even know what was happening. Like 9.4 seconds is such a slow stop. It's almost similar to Joe's and
He had a time
penalty
penalty,
for
yeah.
the beginning. He said he could not get his car to I would say start because it had already started, but to move
for
in the beginning. So he's the one who caused he had
that whole collision,
incident, and we saw both Alpines getting out of
they
the
literally
race.
had like lights off and they went off as well. No, it was sad. I actually had that
decided-
Ocon seats like split
Yeah,
into half.
into half.
That's scary.
But
but
the
it's
funny
okay.
thing, if you watch the replay on that, where were both the Alpines going? Because it was Gasly alongside Ocon, and then we had Daniel Ricciardo behind them.
At the back. I don't know.
I don't know about the Alpines.
I
but
haven't
anyway,
checked it out as well,
they
like so
did
much.
DNF,
Yeah.
and they also did not finish in Silverstone. So
Honestly, I think maybe I just jinxed it. I really expected them to take onto the track. I mean, they had done so well in Monaco. I expected them to do well here. But it's sad. They've DNF twice now.
Yeah, I
DN-
mean,
Alpine
the
DNF.
reliability issues from when Alonso was in the team are now coming back.
And it's
Even
like we are in round 12. We cannot be, round 1, 2, 3, 4,
can get
reliability, but
issues.
not round 12. We're having like
Yeah.
reliability. And they're also changing bosses to replace a boss who was sacked, and then they will replace another. There's so much going on in
Yeah,
Alpine.
they need to.
They need a structure as well.
Yeah.
Maybe what happens in the race was beyond their control. But generally, I think they need to just reevaluate themselves and see what they can do better.
Yeah. So, Max was cruising very,
Very fast.
Yeah, you can't even see him on TV.
We didn't even see less airtime because he has a clear track. He's racing himself.
I mean, if you want to see Max, unless you check his on board.
You just watch, ride with him around Hungary.
There's nothing more to see. We saw Perez. But the thing about Perez that I don't understand, he does so much disservice to himself by always
qualifying
out
he
of
qualified
place.
P9 this weekend. At least he got into Q3.
Yeah,
Congratulations to him, but shame.
I mean, Max
He
is
makes
P2.
his
You're
work,
supposed to be
somewhere
P3,
P3,
P4.
so that at least you're not fighting. I remember yesterday when we were saying he was just, I think, behind Lewis, and I was like, he makes his work super hard.
Yeah.
On a Sunday when he would just be cruising, he's now overtaking slower cars and getting driver of the day. Honestly, I feel like that's just, I don't even know why, guys. You should have voted Piastri driver of the day. He makes his work very hard. I love Perez. I like him as a driver. He's a brilliant driver. But then he makes work.
He wants us to see him on the screen.
Maybe it's just a ploy. Maybe.
Yeah, he wants us. I think he just, sometimes he had to make sure he gets to a good position, which he finished on the podium. To tell Red Bull, you cannot unemploy me. I have a baby on the way.
It's like that meme. You cannot trick me.
He has a baby on the way.
So he has to work. He has to keep working.
Yeah, he has to drive.
Yeah, so I think so the strategy yesterday, I think undercuts were powerful, overcuts were also powerful. Like Lando Norris, he pitted like a lap before Piastri and undercut him. He gained a position on Piastri.
But also Piastri's car was, I don't know if I can say slower or what happened to Piastri's car. He did lose a lot of time.
So I think what happened, he had a very good stint. I think from the first pit stop, it just left him. As I'm saying, I think he had a very good stint. The first stint he had on the tires, he started the race on. But after pitting, I think now, I don't know, the car went away from him, and which can happen, by the way. It can happen.
It does happen.
It does.
And now we saw Lando Norris. We saw also the undercut working with Perez. In his battle with Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri as well.
Yeah, it worked. Because it worked. He overtook Piastri on track.
Yeah.
But Lewis,
I don't know why they made Lewis stay out.
I think yesterday I remember even during some time after everyone had pitted, everyone ahead of him, Lando, Piastri, and Perez. And then we were sitting here okay, I didn't even know, on normal times we always have opinions okay, maybe this is what we should do. I think yesterday, also the strategy team at Team Mercedes maybe also had that whole, I feel but then after now analyzing, but they have data, they should know. Us, we're just watching from the sidelines, but we just felt maybe pitting him a lap or two later would have been, seeing as how close he took away from Perez's gap. He really was going for that podium. I remember on his radio with Bono, he's can I do it? And then Bono is it's not possible. But I feel if he had more laps, if just even him, two laps, two laps.
They pit him at the same time when
Perez came, responded to that, so that to cut off the power of that undercut.
Lewis
might have been on the podium.
But also, the Mercedes team, and I don't know how many times, and so many people are also complaining as well. I don't know, maybe you can fly me to Brackley.
Unataka practice pit stop.
I need to do something. They need to hire me, as I almost flew in to Hungary yesterday to do those
I think
2.8 second pit stops while
Red Bull, your rival,
your rivals McLaren are doing 2.1, 2.3, and a 1.9
from Red
for
Bull.
Perez.
And for Perez, exactly, like you're racing him. Like if ours was where that's 0.9 second, and that's like a lot. It's huge.
It's huge.
Seeing as the gap like that Lewis took off Perez, like Perez's lead.
I need to go and see Perez's pit
Pits.
stops. Because I don't know,
There's a technique.
Does he just, when he's getting into the pits, does he park the car, you know?
I don't think it's so much the parking of the car. I think it's so much precision. It does help, but also I think the time, mostly it's the pit crew. That's why they practice, right? Like I feel like it's just something we need to get right. Like we need to reduce that time from 2.8 to a 2.1 at least. Like that would say
2.3.
if we get there, that will be like fire. We can be doing like Caribou's 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
and also like we can.
They don't have the fastest car anymore. This is not the W11 or the 12, which we considered to be slow, but we are swallowing our words now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but at least our problems are with the pit crew.
At least now we have problems with it. Them, they have problems everywhere.
I feel like they're missing something, like some sort of harmony in their team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a problem, and it's an operational gap.
There's something that's missing.
And I think
cannot always have
this
teammates
gap
fighting
all the time on track,
on the radio,
on team radio. Like it's not.
Like I'm faster.
Please let me through. Yeah.
Positions, no. We will not invert.
And we are seeing beautiful harmonies, like switching positions on the track. We had like with Aston Martin.
Yeah,
I think we are Mercedes as well. Like, yeah, like just prioritize. Maybe sometimes it's nice to prioritize who's faster to protect so that you can garner maximum points.
Yeah, so I think the frustration of
the drivers
being faster and
not being let through, being made like
that's what made him speed in the pit lane. But I thought speeding in the pit lane is a fine.
Yeah, it's a 10 penalty now.
It's a 10 penalty.
Yeah.
Because I saw he was given 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we need to go through the rule book sometimes because things are always changing in F1.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's this funny things that happen. So apparently, in every race weekend, every team has to take back a set of tire back to Pirelli. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's not done manually during the weekend, but like you beep your tires and that data is related back to Pirelli. Yeah, really. So there was this team, which was it? I think, was it Alfa Romeo or McLaren? I don't know which one of those. So they took physically the tire back to Pirelli. Really? They forgot to do, which is the most important. They were fined. Yeah, they have to be fine. Like, it's funny. There's so much always going on behind the scenes in Formula One. Like, it's just like and interesting.
So many teams usually get fined.
They're always fine. Like, I kind of feel like the chief financial officers for these teams, they have to carry their checkbooks. They have to carry their check. But do you think they write their FIA has to look for money for operations and everything. So
that's what I'm saying. I was asking if speeding in the pit lane
should be a fine or a penalty. I think historically, wanapeangwa.
Yeah, I think it's usually a fine.
Really? Not a 10 penalty? I always feel like it's a penalty.
It's a penalty because unsafe release is a penalty.
Oh, unsafe release is on that really time penalized.
Yeah, you're given a time penalty.
Speeding in the pit, I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know anything that I can say much about yesterday's race apart from Danny Rick. Finished ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, which is giving him a lot of airtime
and confidence, like coming out, as in it's just nice coming out, going into Spa now. Spa that's quite like different from Hungary, like different characteristics. Oh yeah, I think the tires that they brought a compound softer like into Hungary, Pirelli that is. I am always talking about Pirelli all the time. But the soft tires actually, like, I mean, the degradation with the high temperatures, it was quite hot in Hungary. The tire temperature track temperature, that is, the degradation was not too bad because we actually did see I think it says we went up to 15 laps on the softs, and it was the softest compound. So the tires brought into this race weekend, I think, worked quite okay because I think everyone did 2 pit stops, so that means they had a total of 36 pit stops across the board.
Yeah,
Because because those 2 Alpines left.
I thought Max would do a 3-stopper.
Oh yeah, because he had such a big gap. Imagine he finished like a pit
33
stop and some
seconds
time ahead of Lando
He
Norris.
would have done a pit stop just to use all the time.
All his tires, yeah. That's crazy. I don't know. That's dominance, by the way. Like, I think for now Red Bull has a record
don't
of
even-
12 consecutive wins. They've won 12
and it will have been 22
for
from last year, if not George
winning Brazil, yeah, Interlagos.
I don't even think that's dominance. We need another word for that.
They're dominantly dominating. We just need to call it something else. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think
no matter where Max starts, he can start in the pit lane
and he'll
or
still
start from a different country, but he will still finish
ahead. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this is, to be honest, I didn't enjoy the race so much. Like, it's different. I don't know. Like, and the fact that they're bringing upgrades, they're working on their car. Like, and that means that other people are trying to work towards, cutting out the gap to those people. But then they're going just a step higher. So I don't know. I just think, honestly, at this point, I think Max will win all the races.
Yeah.
Because Perez has adamantly continued to make his work so hard.
He doesn't want to win.
He doesn't want to win. I think it's...
He got bored.
Yeah, so I
He
mean...
wants to focus on other things.
Yeah.
Like beating people on track.
He wants to overtake slower cars.
Yeah.
So we had Lando Norris telling backmarkers to get out of the way. They have nothing to fight for. Wow.
But I mean, it would get frustrating because he thought Perez is going to catch him because Perez was,
really catching
really
him
fast, and then there's someone like Yuki Tsunoda who doesn't want to move.
Yeah, so get out of the way. I'm not fighting with you. You're not fighting for anything, right?
So
but again, I felt at a camera like you were in this car, like a few couple of laps away.
But then you are the last.
You are the last one, and now you're telling people they have nothing to fight for. That was like, hey, okay, out of pocket, but. We love a good. It's not even a sus moment. That was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he did finish second, and then we had a Red Bull double podium, and I feel like the most exciting thing out of this weekend was the fact that Lando broke Max's trophy.
Oh yeah, he did break, and then he tweeted about this technique of actually repairing it with gold, sipping. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Max is going to get another trophy next year, so
he will win Hungary again.
So he can just stay with the broken one.
Why can salute glue?
It's porcelain, so they can put glue.
Yeah, and it's insane. They're telling us these trophies take 6 months to get.
And they're like 40,000 euros.
That's a lot of money. I don't know.
Give it to me and then I'll sell it.
You sell it?
Yeah.
On eBay. Maybe you should have got.
40,000.
You'll sell it at a lower price.
A higher price. I'm saying this is the trophy that Max Verstappen won.
And Lando broke.
I mean, how much money do you think I can make for that?
So much money.
40,000 euros is not a lot. We can make 1 million. Think big.
Okay, thinking big. So we are headed out to Spa again. It's race week again.
Yeah,
we are going to Spa, a track that's...
Do you think it's going to rain?
Spa is very different. Like, it's just a moody track.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think the last time there was a time, I think 2020, was it 2021? We finished behind. We didn't even race.
Yeah, they went 2 laps and
the race was navel.
I hope it doesn't rain.
I don't like Spa when it rains. It's dangerous. It's
very
dangerous when it rains, and that's why. Yeah. I think enough lives have been lost at that track for so I don't really not so many people fancy going around that track, but it is still a decent place. So I think we'll just wait to see how it plays out. Different weather conditions, different characteristics of the track from Hungary. So we'll see teams bringing upgrades and everything to suit that track, and then after that we'll be going on a summer break.
Yeah, for a few weeks.
And then we're back. Netherlands. Yeah.
But I'm not, there's nothing to talk about really this whole week till we wait for Friday. Maybe just, speculate on which teams have broken the cost cap.
We have to speculate. Yeah, and it's Apparently, it's Aston Martin, Red Bull, and Mercedes.
How I don't get how Mercedes would have broken the cost cap and still
Had
have
like
the W14 as a car.
honestly,
I mean,
if you're going to
have
break rules, have a fast
have
car.
the W11.
Yeah, imagine just change the whole of your car, then come and take sporting regulations. But
But no, you see, they're talking about giving penalties.
sporting sanctions,
yeah,
regulations,
sanctions.
that's like, as in, it's not a fine anymore now. It's like more hefty. You're going to have sporting sanctions.
But you know, in the past, we've seen, like we saw McLaren. There's a time McLaren got disqualified from the constructors championship.
Wow.
Yeah, after the whole incident with, they had
Incidents.
McLaren had so many incidents in the past.
Incidents.
The whole
Incidents.
incidents in the track. Yeah, but we've seen that happen before. So
I don't think they would be banned. Like, I think what will happen maybe is a few, maybe reduction of
yeah,
points, or
but
like
if
maybe
they
banning.
if they reduce, unless they reduce Red Bull's points by 250.
That's the only way it will make sense.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think it's just consequences. We'll wait and see. And then again, there's that whole debate of what is Dr. Helmut Marko's like designated role at Red Bull. So apparently
He's
now.
a motivator.
Apparently now he's not CG on the F1 like payroll. He's an employee of Red Bull.
But he's always at.
He's always present at the
races.
races. He's always a pit wall.
You know the thing about this cost cap thing, teams are finding innovative ways
of
to
working
go
around it. Yeah.
I don't know. Would you say you would want the cost cap to be removed?
No, because again, this was just a way of trying to protect the other team.
Yeah,
The
the
smaller
teams
teams are not
yeah.
so much funded and not so many sponsors. It's just like what we said was happening like in F1 Academy.
Yeah.
That whole like being, at least you have to use this money, it's within the limits. I feel like that's their way of trying to just bunch up the grid, but I don't know. At least in quali we saw like a gap from P1 to P10, 0.577 seconds, just the same way. I think back in 203, the gap between Barrichello and Alonso.
Recently. So I would say it's interesting.
I still don't support these regs.
Like Domenicali should just tell me who broke the cost cap. I won't tell anyone. I won't even tell you. I just want to.
No.
No.
You'll be that like that kid.
If I've broken the cost cap, then Toto Wolff needs to write me a report.
He needs to.
Stating why, how,
and what that money went into.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah.
And then also,
vegan food is very expensive.
It is very expensive. But also, did you see that? Apparently, I don't know how true it is. Toto told one of the kid presenters about the contract, and then the kid is like, yeah, he told me Lewis is extending the contract by 2 years, but still they've not announced Lewis. Mercedes announced Lewis now. It's like, come on.
Or Lewis, announce yourself.
Announce yourself. Or please, Roscoe, announce your dads.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for us this weekend. I hope you had fun, as we had fun, like on Saturday. The race was just a tad underwhelming, but we'll take it. No, I wouldn't take it. The W14 came alive during the last section of the race.
Yeah, with low fuel, it's very interesting to see. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I think
when it has fuel.
It's very a tractor. It's just dragging. Yeah, you lost so much time. So anyway, congratulations to everyone who finished the race. Quick recovery. I don't know if Ocon is okay. I think he is doing okay, and I hope all the drivers have a good week. And I will see you out in Spa in a few days.
Yeah, in a few days.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at the Will Spin Podcast, and on Twitter, the Will Spin Podcast, and engage with us, and on TikTok as well. So, and remember to subscribe.
Yeah, it's the
button. Just, I don't know, is it here? Yeah, just around here. So and have a lovely week ahead.
Yeah,
that's it from us. Goodbye.
Bye guys.